Continental Tire Coach's Corner brings us Tony Dungy. Continental Tire, proud to be the exclusive tire of the Dan Patrick Show. No matter where you drive, what you drive, how you drive, they have a tire for you. For more information, visit continentaltire.com. Once again, we spoke to Tony Dungy before the show started so he could get on his flight. So we did not have the information on Drew Brees. Brees will have surgery probably today and will be out for the next 6 weeks. Tony was tweeting over the weekend on Sunday. He was just bothered by the stoppage in play and the pass interference calls. And I started the conversation with Tony by asking him how difficult was it to watch those games yesterday?
You know what? It is tough, Dan. And also, I think we're still getting that kind of result of lack of preseason. You see some plays, especially at the end of the game, long touchdown passes when the defense should be protecting that, fumbles, bad snaps, things like that, missed kicks. It's just I think we're still kind of in that preseason mode, and we might not know who's really, really going to be good for another couple of weeks.
What frustrated you the most yesterday?
I think the pass interference rule, Dan, I am just beside myself with that. I thought it was going to be a real problem when we start putting judgment into review. And now we're saying, well, this push-off was clear and obvious, but this grab wasn't clear and obvious. We saw the Pittsburgh-Seattle game get turned around on a replay review on pass interference. An offensive pass interference penalty took away a touchdown from Minnesota. They lose by one score. And I don't think coaches really know now what to challenge, what not, because it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, what is best for the NFL when I watch it. And when they started to add more instead of subtracting, and it's really frustrating to watch. Because anytime there's a long touchdown, I just wait before I celebrate because I think there's going to be a flag on the play.
Yeah, I mean, Stephon Diggs scores a touchdown yesterday from Minnesota, and you're wondering what they're reviewing, and then they come up with something that's away from the play and no one really saw, and it's hard to figure out. And now every passing play, really, every passing touchdown is going to be subject to looking all over the field to see if there was a grab or a push-off. I think it's hard, and then we really don't know what is clear and obvious. What's clear and obvious to me as a defensive player might not be clear and obvious to an offensive player, and that's what we're getting.
What would you do if you were coaching now? What would be your strategy?
It's really hard because you get these big plays. I'm sitting there in the screening room, and Pete Carroll challenges this pass that I say he's dumb. He's going to lose the timeout. There's no way he should challenge this. And he ends up getting a 40-yard gain out of it, and it changes the rule. And so you don't know. Then you take chances, and you say, okay, I'm going to challenge this. We saw in the Thursday night game, Ron Rivera made a challenge. It's clearly a penalty. His guy got bumped. He got knocked off his route, but then they said, well, the ball wasn't in the air, so even though it's a penalty, we can't change it because it's not pass interference. I don't know what coaches can do now. I really don't.
Talking to Tony Dungy, Hall of Famer, and, of course, Football Night America analyst, joining us, Continental Tire Coach's Corner. What is different about the Cowboys' offense this year than in previous seasons?
Well, I think they're back to where they were Dak's rookie year when he had that breakout year. They've got all the pieces in place. That year they had this great offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott was a rookie. He burst on the scene. They had Dez Bryant on the outside who was beating one-on-one coverage, and then they had Jason Witten kind of as that safety valve. Well, Dez went downhill. They lost Jason Witten. They had some injuries in the offensive line, but now it's all back. So he's just orchestrating this offense that if you put your safety up in the line of scrimmage to stop Elliott, then you've got all these one-on-ones on the outside. He's got receivers that can win. He's getting easy reads because the safeties are stacking the box. And it's all in place. Great protection, good solid running game, and he's got receivers who can beat one-on-one. He's playing fantastic football.
So is Lamar Jackson, but I'm not sure what is real and what's not because they've beaten Arizona and beaten Miami. But I'm more curious about John Harbaugh putting him in a position. They were down at the 5-yard line, backed up to the 5, and he dropped back to pass. I never thought I would see that from Lamar Jackson, but it seems like John Harbaugh is allowing him to be a quarterback.
He really is. And, the big play of the game, when they had to have a play to ice the game, they got in an empty, no backs in the backfield. We're going to throw this ball. He throws a fade to Marquise Brown right on the money, and that told me what I needed to see. That you're right, John Harbaugh has confidence in him. Now, I am really looking forward to next week when Kansas City plays Baltimore, because Patrick Mahomes is doing some things that we haven't seen, too. I think you're going to see probably 80, 85 points in that game. It may end up being just like the Rams Chiefs game was last year.
Yeah, Mr. Know-It-All, I said there'll be a market correction on Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to have the season he had last year.
Dan, we're sitting there looking yesterday, and I said, Raiders are doing a pretty good job on him. He's a little bit off, and he finishes 30 for 44 for 400-something yards, 4 touchdowns, and it wasn't even a great day.
Well, he had a better quarter than I think all other quarterbacks had games except for Lamar Jackson. I mean,
that's how they can explode, and that's really going to be a fun game because I think both defenses are going to have their hands full.
What about Antonio Brown working? It felt like they were limiting the playbook for him, but that's kind of scary. You got Josh Gordon and AB in there, and then you throw in Edelman. Now all of a sudden the Patriots are a great offense.
You saw, too, just still some miscommunication. Brady thought he was going to be certain places a couple times. I think 4 out of 8 targets, but that chemistry is only going to get better, and Brown he's a rare talent. So I think they're going to do some special things on offense. Now, I still wasn't happy with the signing because I think it sent a bad message to our young people that you can act as crazy as you want as long as you have talent and someone will take you. But as far as on the field, they're going to be tough to deal with.
More likely to happen, the Patriots go undefeated or the Dolphins go winless?
I think they're both probably not going to happen. But the Patriots, they might have an easier time doing the 16-0 than the Dolphins have of winning one game, the way it looks now. Gosh.
But I'm looking at this Miami team. I mean, I feel bad for Brian Flores. I don't know if he signed up for this. I mean, what would you do if you were coaching this team?
Well, they've got a long-term plan, obviously, and I think you've got to ride it out and make sure that you keep people on board. The tough thing is when you get rid of as many good players as they have, that makes it difficult mentally. But in the long run, and they're stockpiling some draft choices, Cleveland went through this. And we'll see if Miami can come out the other side. But what Brian has to do is keep everybody on board, and that's going to be tough.
How does Adam Vinatieri hit the wall at this point of his career?
I don't know if it's mental. I can't remember him missing 5 kicks in a year, let alone 5 kicks in 2 weeks. So I hope he comes back. I hope he stays with it because I think he will bounce back. Still see the leg strength. I think the accuracy will come, but gosh, I don't want Adam to go out like this. I hope this is not a retirement day today. I hope it's just a readjustment.
Hey, Tone, safe travels as always, and we hope to see you in the man cave one of these Mondays.
Yeah, I got to come see you definitely. I miss you, DP.
Thank you, Tone. That's Tony Dungy, Football Night in America, joining us. Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.